like you all to uncross your legs, uncross your arms, and I'd like you to take a deep breath in. And this breath, you can keep your eyes open, you can continue thinking, you can do all the things that you're doing right now. Just know that breath links you to the present moment. So while you're in the present moment, I want you to understand that the core, innermost place of your being is the unchanging, eternal, immortal. It's the consciousness within us all. It's the place beneath mind. It's the thing that is in between this thought, this moment, left, right, good, evil, up, down, above, below, within, without. All of these things, they're dualities. We live in a realm of three-dimensional realm. We have duality, as people like to say, but the thing that transcends duality is within us all, and it's perceiving through our eyes. It's perceiving through you looking at me. It's watching through me looking at you. Thank you. And as I continue to speak, I'd like you to tap into this awareness, this eternal, unchanging self within us all. This self is the thing that, when we talk about waves of light, the light is the awakening of that self. The light that we're sending out throughout the collective, the hive mind of humanity. We're reverberating throughout all of humanity, the information and the awakening of self. That's the light that we're sending throughout everybody. We're an echo chamber, so that which we send out comes back, that which we send in goes out. So I'd like to start this off with intuition is evolution. Every single object in this room, every single piece of clothing you're wearing, every single gadget we have, our little phones, our computers we have in hands, it all stemmed from one thing: the mind interpreting or intuiting information from above to below. So I believe that the intuition is something that is so fundamental, and it's necessary if we're going to make this shift, this awakening, what some people call the harvest, ascension, whatever you want to call it. All it is the awakening and rising of awareness of self within us. We all have this self, this unchanging blank slate of eternal, pure, unchanged awareness that is perceiving throughout us all. And this is it's the centermost core of our being that we all must have connection with if we truly want to rise and make changes in our lives that will last. So consider for a moment that the words I'm going to say, or that I've been saying as well, are simply my perspective. Take as you wish or leave as you please. It doesn't make a difference whether one piece of it or the entirety serves you in some way. If I served you in this speech, thank you. So what I'd like to tell you is that people say that we are the creator of our reality. People say that we are the deliberate creator, co-creator, manifesting generator, whatever you want to use, all those words. We have a difficulty seeing that when we compare ourselves to all the people around us. We say, oh, that person has this. Oh, that person has a shiny car, and I drive this. Or it doesn't matter. Since you have that space within you of unchanging awareness, you are every single person, place, thing, object, past, present, future, time, place, everything. You're all of that in one. And that one thing is perceiving through your eyes. Before you make your thoughts, before you make your intentions, before you make your decisions, before you feel your emotions, it's eternal, that awareness within you. So you have everything. You have everything you could ever need. You have all of the awareness, all of the ability to do everything that you want. You have all of the potential in the world. We all have that. Every single one of us can, whatever we aspire to do, whatever we aspire to be, we can. All we have to do is be it, because we already are it. So intuition is evolution because, like I said, every single thing in front of us was initially created or interpreted or intuited through the mind of a human. And that bank or reservoir of information above us all, some people like to call it spirit, God, Allah, whatever you call it, whatever it is to you, all it is to me is that unchanging awareness that we all possess. Source, whatever you want to call it, we're all that. So I'd like you to see through the eyes of Source, to me, hear through the ears of Source, perceive through Source, because that's all you are, that's all we are, that's all I am. That's why they say, I am that I am. In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God. So the Word, in some way, is very powerful. In some way, it controls what we experience. So that's why it's so important to corral your speech. About 2 weeks ago, my mom gave me a suggestion when we were heading to a restaurant. She said, corral your speech. You're seeming to go down a slippery slope. And in the moment, kind of triggered me a little bit, because I was like, she's saying that I don't control my speech? And I stopped myself. I was like, wait a minute. No, she's right, because if speech has vibration and everything has vibration, with a specific way of controlling your speech, you're then streamlining yourself to be how it is you're intending on being. So a lot of the time, we say we want to change something. We say we want to we say we want to start going to the gym. We say we want to start eating healthy. We say we want to do all those things. But then immediately after we make that decision, we have something that I call the fallback effect. We immediately go back to the comfort. We immediately go back to what was known. We immediately go back to what we've continuously been doing on a regular basis. That is the universe's mechanism of testing you to see whether or not you want to actually make that change. So the reason words are so important is because immediately after you make that statement, I want to do this, you then start saying but or why or I've been doing this, or you start saying the story that you've been saying the entirety of your life until that moment. So what I'd like to tell you is that words are incredibly, incredibly powerful. The words that you use, the story that you say, is essentially the laws to your universe. We are all one, but uniquely, individually, and through your perspective, you create your personal reality. So the words that you use in your life will be different to describe what you experience than what other people use. The reason for this is because you have different ways of relating to experience, but it's the laws that you assert on your reality and that you impose on your experience. So if you control your speech, you can control the laws that are controlling your life. And of course, there's the fundamental laws of the universe, which are law of attraction, correspondence, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'd like to backtrack a little bit to when I was younger. When I was about 6 or 5 years old, she had the individual that came through, Joseph last night, Kathy, her mentor, had, in some way, she woke up and she started reading Abraham Hicks. She started reading about the law of attraction, and she was sharing this information with me, and it all resonated with me at that young age. It made sense to me. It felt like I was gaining some lost memories in some way. I already knew what it was, and so do you. We all know in the core of our being what is and what isn't. So that was the first step into my awakening, and that was the first step into this life, and essentially my rebirth into the knowledge of self. So I'd like to thank you. Thank you, person. Love you, Mom. So after that, we moved down to South America when I was about 8 years old, 8 and a half or so. And that was interesting, learning a new language and just going to a different place that I had no clue about until we got there. At about 11, I started getting back into that type of information, and I was obsessing with it. I obsessed so deeply with the fact that we create our own reality, thoughts create, emotions create, intentions create, all of those things. And I knew that it was overpowering what I needed to do in that moment. It was overwhelming me from the person that I needed to become. So a part of me shut that away, and I allowed it to come out in the future. So I knew I had to socialize. I had to become a normal kid. And so fast forward about 4 years, I was 15 years old, and I had my true awakening. That was when I found myself in an experience where I became absolutely nothing. I became no person, no place, no thing, no mind, no thought, no memory, just pure, utter presence and awareness, consciousness. And what that consciousness showed me was that even with your eyes closed, even with your eyes open, we still are aware, we're still perceiving. And what this assured me of is that even though we die, even though we change, even though we're going through this dance of form, even though we're all changing, we're all seeing the world essentially fall apart and be rebuilt, there's still that eternal aspect within us all that doesn't change. And after I was in that state where I was absolutely nothing, some people call it ego death, some people call it, there's many different names for it. I flashed, and I became every single object, every single person, every single place, every single thing, time, you become the past, present, it's all now. And that thing that links it all together is the presence, the consciousness, the I am. That's why they say I am is so important. Every statement you say after I am is incredibly powerful. It's because you're linking yourself to that and you're creating it. It's law that what you say after I am becomes. So that's why words are also so important, because with your belief system, you can say, oh, I'm this kind of person, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. You don't realize that the words you say are literally and uniquely and specifically subjectively to you only. Nobody else, because really all there is you in your reality. Yes, there's other people, but you're stemming from the same source of information. So what you say is so important because it dictates what you experience, it dictates what's possible for you, what's not possible for you. It then also gives you the opportunity of whether or not you can change that. So I think the most important thing for every single one of us in this day and age to do is understand that what we are on the inside, what we are truly, is something that cannot be put into words, something that cannot be described. It's unfathomable, it's insurmountable, it's inconceivable. All of those words describe it. It's something so vast and so powerful and infinite within us all that we don't have a way of describing what it is unless you've experienced it. And for that reason, some people think we're crazy. But with that awareness of that level of self within us, we know that this story we have from the day of our birth, the day of our death, it's all a story. The way that we relate our life, the way that we communicate, the way that we stand, the way that all of these things, it's just different ways that we're expressing that same thing. So what I want to tell you is that you can change anything in your life, anything. You might think, I've been suffering from this addiction for 25 years, I'm a slave to it, I feel like I can't do anything about it, I feel like I can't get out of it, I feel like when I go home something takes me over and I just have to do that. Whatever it is, you can change that. Because if you are that infinite thing, which you are, because that thing is just consciousness, I mean, what else would be perceiving through your eyes, then you can rewrite your story. You can recreate the person that you are right now. You can reconstruct, you can rebuild, you can create a new foundation, clear away the rubble of the previous foundation you had, the previous belief system. The way that you do this, deliberate speech, deliberate usage of certain words that lead you to certain other thoughts and other words, which then funnel you towards your deliberate new self. So, another thing that I'd like to say is, there's a law, the law of deliberate creation. This law, Abraham Hicks talks about it, Esther Hicks, we have to be that person in control. You had spoken about this earlier as well. We have to be that person in control because there's nobody else here in your life. Nobody. Yes, you have family. Yes, you have friends. Yes, you have mentors. Yes, you have coaches. Yes, you have whatever it is that you have. That is food for thought. It's not the individual holding the steering wheel. It's not the person controlling your body. It's not the thing walking. It's not the thing breathing and maintaining life in you. That's you. So you have to be the sole controller of your own experience. You have to be the sole controller of your life and your existence. So what I'm asking you today to do is know that yes, we're all imperfect. Yes, we're all suffering from some different thing. Yes, we're all experiencing something that somebody else is not experiencing. But know that anything for it to even be there and be possible to be there means it has something that can be its antidote. It can change. It can transform, it can transmute. So with this awareness within you, you can then say, okay, I know what it is that I don't want. What is it that I do want? It's a very powerful statement and question, because you affirm and you affirm what it is that you do not want, and then you open the possibility for your intuition to fill in what it is that you do want. That ties me back to intuition. Sorry, I jump around. I'm just stream of consciousnessing it, so it's all just coming to me right now. So with the intuition, essentially in this present moment right now, the person that you think you are is the person you programmed into your mind to be. So you're literally, in a sense, channeling your personality. You're walking around, you're like, hi, I'm Garin, I'm this, I'm that. I've done this throughout my life. But really, all you are is consciousness expressing a story that it's told itself. So if you change that and you say, hi, I'm Garin, I'm, whatever affirmations it is that you want to share. So say that you, every time you go out and you try and have fun with friends, you find yourself too serious, you find yourself just not having fun, not caring, you don't really want to socialize, you feel like you pick up energies off people too much, you feel like it's just frazzling you or whatever it is. If you tell yourself, I understand that I'm infinite, I understand that within me is the unchanging stillness, the silent stillness, the eternal vastness of all creation. And I can do what I want, and I can do this, and I can change what I think is unmovable, insurmountable. You can do it. Every single one of you can. We can. I can. You can. It can. So, the intuition. What's interesting is when I was in high school, around the time of my sophomore years, when I was going through my true awakening, I called it my third awakening. This was a time where I started diving incredibly deeply into metaphysical information. I found a 44-minute video titled The 12 Universal Laws. And in this, it talked about how those are the laws that all creation abides to. So if all creation does that, I reasoned out that, so if those are the laws, and the law of attraction is one of the main ones, then I can create my own laws in the universe, any law, and it has to become something. So I told myself, okay, I'm gonna make a pact with the collective consciousness that I have a fast-tracked awakening, a fast-tracked learning experience, a fast-tracked way of assimilating and integrating all of this information into my brain, into my life, into my being, so that I can express it, I can teach it, I can help, I can create ripples or waves of light throughout the collective. It's all meant for a certain purpose. And when I said that to the collective, it was as if I got assurance back saying, you will learn that information, you will understand that, you will know, because you're here to teach, you're not here to just be a passenger. It's interesting because you can literally say, okay, from this moment on, every time I take a step, that's twice as much abundance in my life. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. And yeah, it's silly because you think, well, that's not abundance. Taking steps isn't abundance. Well, what is and what isn't? Nothing is and nothing is. And so if whatever you say becomes, okay, so this is what determines abundance for me, is how many breaths I can take a day. That's life. That's life and death in one operation. Out breath is death, in breath is life. We have all the potential for all the things that we want to do, we can even conceive of doing. And questions tie in with the intuition incredibly. Questions open up and force your brain to activate as a supercomputer to provide you the answer to the question you ask. You cannot think of a question without there being an answer for it. So if you can't think of a question, you say, what questions have I not thought of asking myself? Oh, okay, what is my purpose? What is the thing that I desire to do? What do I want? How do I want to fulfill it? How do I want to create it? How do I want to immerse myself in that type of lifestyle to catalyze that form of experience. What is it that I need to do? How is it that I need to go that direction? How is it that I need to act to become that way? You talked about purpose a moment ago. Purpose is something very interesting. Purpose is similar to belief system in my eyes, because with the way that we relate to life, it's always unique according to you individually. You've had certain experiences leading up to this point right now where you've set certain foundations for your outlook on life. Those foundations then determine what your desires are, because you have a certain set of conditions that you believe you have to abide by in your life. Purpose is what you determine right now. So my purpose right now is to stand and speak in front of a wonderful audience that's very receptive. And your purpose right now is to listen in the present moment and absorb. Because if all there is now, then you're 100% living it already. And it's just up to you to accept that and actually think that that's enough. Because worth is something that people do not feel that they do not feel that they're worthy. They feel that they need to do more. They feel that they need to serve others. They need to serve, which is true. But in you even being alive right now, holding this information within your consciousness, within your mind, within your body, within your spirit, you are serving. You are serving and being embodied in this flesh vehicle to continue spreading waves of light. We're all an echo chamber for each other. We're just creating reverberations throughout all of humanity. Humanity isn't something that is just, we're not all separate. People on the outside like to think that we're separate because, oh, I'm Garin, I have this body, I have this. Oh, you are Michelle. Oh, you are Dr. Lewis Gates. Oh, Jessica. Oh, Michael. Oh, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't, we all have these names, these characters that we play, but in reality, we're just playing the dance of forms. We're just that one eternal, unchanging thing, that baseline awareness, that eternal truth, the absolute truth, which is that all that is playing out all that is. So I'd like to just open up the question and answer floor, because I feel like there's going to be some interesting questions coming through. So is there a microphone that we can put throughout the audience? And then I'll continue speaking after if we have time. Any question of any sort, personal, not personal, spiritual, metaphysical, as above, so below, left, right, up, down, evil, good, any of those things. Actually, let me see. Am I ready?
So first of all, I would like to say thank you, because you have just lifted the weight of the world off of me. By that, I mean everything you said. I couldn't keep up, I'm recording, I hope you don't mind. That my purpose is just to sit here in this moment and learn. I suddenly felt like I don't have to be, do, act, be this person, be that person. I don't have to worry about what is my purpose in this life, for the next 40 years I might be on this earth. I can just be here right now in this moment. And I suddenly feel so much lighter. So thank you for that.
Thank you for being here. Offering you the opportunity to do that. It feels, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It feels freeing, doesn't it? It's as if you're not bound by this. You feel like you're able to do anything. Invincible.
Yes.
Do you have any other questions?
And also, because of part of the reason I'm here, and a lot of things I've been going through is transitioning transitioning into a bigger purpose. I've been a travel agent for 15 years and I'm bored and I want something else. There's something bigger for me out there relating to travel, but I don't know what it is and it's scary to not know. So again, you lifted that fear from me of having to figure it out. And it seems so big out there what my purpose is supposed to be, and it's overwhelming. So just to be here in the moment and suddenly just know that, this 5 minutes that you're talking is enough for this moment. And my question that I wrote down was, when you're saying the I am, I believe in that, I do that, I listen to affirmations, I have, pictures on my wall of, I am. But do those words transcend, and do they create your reality if you don't 100% yet believe that you are? If you say the words, I am courageous, I am brave, I am abundant, I am financially abundant, I am. If you're saying those words, but you don't necessarily truly believe those words, do they still have the same effect?
That's a great question. So when I had said that affirmations, what you say after I am, is incredibly powerful. Previous to that, I explained the unchanging eternal presence within us all. So if you first go back to your source, or your self, the eternal self, the self that we all are before incarnating, you then go to infinite possibilities. You then go to what people call quantum. You go to the present moment, the now. So if you first link yourself to all that is, and then make that statement, you then don't have to go against the story you've been telling yourself throughout the past 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years of your life, whatever it is. You then have all of eternity on your side, instead of a fraction of a moment that's just gonna die.
Wow. Thank you.
Questions? Nobody's got questions.
I've got one.
You just right after.
Oh, you got money in your hand, you're quick.
Hey, I wanted to know, how do you manifest that Mercedes?
So I would, after work every single day, I would sit in my bedroom, and I put a clock on or a timer on for 10 minutes, and I would sit there and just visualize myself in an experience. I just imagine my hands in front of me, and I'd see my hands holding a stack of cash, $100 bills, blue strips, and I'd have that in front of me, and I'd feel it. I'd imagine the sensation of what it would feel like to have a stack of cash in front of you, what it would feel like to experience that, what would it feel like to have that level of security, of certainty, of that feeling of freedom, of I can go anywhere on this planet and do anything that I want, no matter what it is. And I just kept feeling that. And I did that. I'm not going to claim that I did that every single day, because we always forget. We have certain days where we don't stick to the regimen, where we don't stick to the routine. I would do it as often as possible, and eventually, about 6 months later, I found myself directly in that experience holding cash, and I was like, wait a minute, this feels like deja vu. Oh, I was visualizing this for the longest time. So, yeah, and people say if you can visualize it, it can be. What they don't understand is in your imagination, you're tapping into other realities, other infinite possibilities. So you're just pulling forth what already is, just bringing it into being.
You want to finish your question?
It's relating to that. Can I just add on to that? So in that case, though, did it just magically appear all of a sudden?
Oh no, I was working.
Okay, so action. Thank you.
Well,
That's
it's
the piece that gets missed, right? People, when I try and explain that to people, because I can talk about it, but I don't necessarily
Believe it?
No, I believe it. It just, I find a hard time having the attraction, but I can tell the rest of the world how to do it. So, but the action piece is what's missing. Is because people look at me like, well, it's not just going to fall out of the sky. Well, no, it's not. You have to take action to do that. So that was my question: is what action did you take, or literally did you win the lottery? Did somebody, did you inherit the car? Like, how did it?
So I had, for the previous few months, been working as a salesperson, and yes, action is necessary in this realm, this plane existence, though it is not the end-all, say-all. We have a vibrational version of us within ourselves, our inner being, our source, our whatever you want to call it. This is the thing that creates the experiences around us. The place that we're in right now is, we're experiencing a byproduct of a previous state of being right now. So our emotional state, say 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, an hour ago, whatever it is, manifests at this moment we're seeing and experiencing right now. But what we feel and relate to this moment right now is what determines the next and the future experiences we have. So that's why people say, don't let your present moment determine, don't let your circumstances determine your reality. So I had been working, and I knew that working would lead you to money. It's just, I didn't realize that it would be that exact experience. Sometimes it has to be work, sometimes it comes out of the sky, sometimes it's lottery ticket, like you said, whatever it is. If you're working with all that is infinite possibility, it doesn't have to be what's conceivable to you. It's literally something that's you have no clue about, because you don't have to know. You already are. You're hidden.
Hi.
Okay.
Well, we kind of drifted. It would have made better sense if I said it when we took conversations back to the I am presence, okay?
Any question?
And the I am affirmations. I find that a lot of people, they're using the words, but they're not really defining the words. You know, I am loved, I am protected. They're just saying I am, thinking, okay, I am this, I am that. If you go deeper, what is the I am? The I am is a consciousness. And it's all of us. We all are one. And if we feel that we are one, we're tuned into the universal life force of the I am, and we become that I am, this is when we start to bring everything to us. So I am is not just a word, it is a consciousness, it's a feeling. And that's what I wanted to add on to the end. But you got a Mercedes. I had to wait till I got 50 years old to get mine, so good for you.
What I want to say, I know what you're saying, that the question is when you asked, is you're asking, you're throwing things into the pond, you're throwing things into consciousness. Even though you don't believe in them, I don't believe I'm there yet, it's that constant moving and putting it there. And this is our ideas, our thoughts, and we're changing that through affirmations, through I am awesome, I am beautiful, I am wealthy, I am connected. You're always, even though you don't believe that at that moment, but during the time that you're saying it, it starts to build. It's like building a wall, like building a thing for you. And then all of a sudden, and like you say, money doesn't fall out of the sky. I had a lady over here in Tampa, she said, Lewis, I want $3 million. That's what I want, I don't care, Spirit's gonna give it to me. She stepped out of her car and a Publix parking lot, picked the lottery ticket off the ground, it was worth $3 million. So, there you go.